FYF Sportsman, we back with another video. We're just gonna be doing a really quick game breakdown on the Houston Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks. And as I'm doing this, the game is still going on, but there was just some things that I was seeing that I really wanted to speak on. Now I kind of had to change up how I'm doing the game day breakdowns. Normally I would have footage planned and I would be able to show you guys specific clips on things that I would like to point out. But I've been getting a lot of copyright notices from the NBA with regards to using that particular footage. So we're going to have to, until we can get that figured out, until we can identify what footage we can and cannot use and how we can use it, we're just going to have to just talk about the games based on what we see and just based on what I'm seeing as I watch the games live. But in this game, one of the biggest and most obvious takeaways is that the Houston Rockets have some serious problems to get figured out, and they have only 7 games after this to get it figured out. The small ball lineup that they're using, it's not going to work. I just watched the Dallas Mavericks put up over 80 points in the first half on this lineup. Kristaps Porzingis is doing whatever he wants. At this point in time in the game, Kristaps Porzingis has 27 points. He's been scoring from the outside. He's been scoring from the inside. But I watched Boban Marjanovic come in, and within 60 seconds of being in the game, this man had 4 points and 3 rebounds because of the size difference. And so when teams can come in and dominate you to that degree so quickly, I just don't think the Rockets have the firepower to try to outshoot teams, especially outshoot teams with 2 highly skilled all-star level players surrounded by not just great other young talent, but also a very solid defensive coach. And the Rockets, again, if you're watching this game, they look like they don't care about playing defense whatsoever. Mike D'Antoni needs to, this is probably going to cost Mike D'Antoni his job. Based on what I'm seeing here, this is not sustainable right here. And the fact that they traded away their only rim protection in Clint Capela, they traded him away for essentially nothing. They tried to bring in another perimeter defender in Robert Covington, but again, that does nothing for your rim protection. On the interior, teams can do whatever they want, not just bigs. Because although Porzingis is doing whatever he wants inside the paint, same with Boban, it's also players getting to the basket. I'm watching Luka Doncic get to the basket anytime he wants with no additional resistance or help. Normally when you beat that first line of defense, your defensive help is supposed to rotate over, be in that help position, and make those guys make plays. But the Houston Rockets have no defensive rotations whatsoever. Guys are standing when guys score. Guys are looking at each other, pointing and trying to figure out who to blame. Defensively, they just look a mess. They only look like they care about scoring the ball. And for just when they make great runs on offense, they're high-fiving and clapping, but they have extremely long spells of bad defense that just their offense cannot make up for. So again, I'm really curious to see what the Rockets are going to be doing moving forward. And I'm gonna pull up some of the stats here for that particular game. But I'm just disappointed. I expected a lot more from the Houston Rockets, especially when you see guys like Russell Westbrook and Robert Covington. Robert Covington has been a great 3-and-D guy, but they're just not using him at all. They're not using him at all in his natural position. They're not letting him play his game. He's not getting to the basket like he normally does. So he's even struggling to find his role within this team as well. But again, let me pull up these stats, man. Just popped up right here. If you're watching this game live, you're going to see the same thing. We're looking. It's in the third. The game is in the third quarter. The game is in the third quarter. The Mavericks have 112 points right now. It's in the third quarter with 2 minutes to go. The Mavericks have 112 points. The Rockets, so it's a 112-99. So the Rockets' defense is so bad that it doesn't. For them having such a great offense, the offense is essentially meaningless. They let Trey Burke catch fire in the first half. Now, Trey Burke has been a great journeyman guard. He's been known to have great scoring bouts and flashes. But there's no way you let Trey Burke go 8 of 10 from the field, 6 of 6 from the 3-point line, and it's not even the fourth quarter yet. Trey Burke has 22 points, having a great game so far. Tim Hardaway Jr. has had a quiet 24 points. I don't even know this man has 24 points. Tim Hardaway Jr. with 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists so far. And again, it's only the third quarter. Porzingis with 27, and then we haven't even talked about the numbers that Luka's been putting up in this game, and he's been putting up big numbers as well. And when we look at the Rockets, again, it's the same old story. Russell Westbrook 20 points, but he's shooting 8 of 18 from the field, 0 for 1 from the 3-point line. So the good thing is that he's not shooting as many reckless and wild threes, but he's still just looking to drive. He's not necessarily looking to play make. He doesn't understand the pace of play, so he's always 100%, and that's not necessarily good all the time. Robert Covington's just shooting poorly today. For him to be one of the best 3-and-D guys in the league, this man is shooting 0 for 5 from the field right now from the 3-point line. And I tell people that the style of play and the team and the players around you, that ball moving, when that ball moves, coaches call that giving the ball energy, because when that ball moves and all you got to do is just touch the ball, again, your shot is going to be on. But what James Harden is essentially doing, and this is a terminology that a lot of basketball players who played at a high level know, James Harden is giving guys, and Russell Westbrook, they give guys something called time bombs. A time bomb is when a star player like Westbrook or Harden dribbles the shot clock off, they drive to try to make a move, and when they get stopped, they'll fling it to you with 2 to 3 seconds on the shot clock, and now what you're doing is now you're holding a time bomb because you have to shoot that shot, and more than likely you're probably going to miss it. It's going to affect your percentage. It's going to make you look worse, and I've seen Robert Covington fall victim to that a number of times today. So I don't necessarily blame him for going 0 for 5 from the 3-point line, but again, they have to find a way to be more effective, man. More effective just all around the board, man. Because again, this is bad right here. And Luka Doncic, he's just having an all-around great game right now. 23 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, man. He's basically picking his poison, doing whatever he wants. Trey Burke up to 25 points now. So these guys, they got 4 players scoring over 20 points right now. This is crazy. It's crazy how bad. I knew their defense was bad. I didn't think it would be this bad. And for D'Antoni to give up probably his best defensive weapon in Clint Capela, because all in the name of going small and playing this small ball, it doesn't look like it's going to be working. And when I talk about teams that can get upset, the Houston Rockets are one of those teams, because if you watch this game, the Mavericks are just employing a very simple strategy. Their strategy is to double James Harden on the perimeter, force him to give up the ball to the next man, and have somebody else make a play. And Russell Westbrook shooting. Russell Westbrook's not going to beat you with his shooting. What they're essentially saying is, Russell Westbrook, you're gonna have to beat us, because James Harden is not going to beat us today. So James Harden started the first quarter off extremely hot. I think he had 20 points in the first quarter. That's when, again, a great defensive mind. The Dallas coach went to doubling every time Harden touched the ball above the 3-point line. And again, I love that play, and I love the concept. The primary thing was it wasn't just a full-out double team. That's not what they were doing. What they were doing is they were just sending 2 guys at him, stunting 2 guys at him, understanding that that's all they needed to do to make him give up the ball. Now, James Harden is definitely getting his numbers. He's having a really solid game today. He has 32 points, but he has 6 assists, 2 steals, and 3 rebounds. So he's been filling up the numbers category. Westbrook up to 24 points now with 10 of 21 shooting. But again, what the Houston Rockets are trying to do, what they're trying to sustain going into this bubble season and then potentially into the playoffs, this is something that's not going to work, especially when you go up against some of these elite teams like the Clippers, Lakers. These are teams that they have elite defenders. When you have a Paul George, when you have a Kawhi Leonard, if the Dallas Mavericks, with their personnel, can give you a lot of trouble, then what do you think a team like the Clippers can do? So, again, I just wanted to do a quick game breakdown just to let you guys know, man, I'm just extremely disappointed in watching the Houston Rockets play, man, I expected a lot more from these guys. When I saw all the reports of Mike D'Antoni with this small ball concept, I thought I was going to see something a bit more innovative, but it just looks like it's the same old song. It just looks like a team that wants to play extremely fast and not care about defense. And at the end of the day, that the old adage, that old saying that defense wins championships, it still holds true to some degree. And just watching this type of basketball right here, this is one of the reasons why you have people who are 90s fans, 80s fans. This is why they say this era is soft, because again, they'll look at a team like the Rockets and say, these guys don't play a lick of defense. And this is not even to mention how bad the refs have already been. This is just the Rockets playing extremely terrible as well. Now, the Rockets are without one of their best perimeter defenders in Eric Gordon. He had a severe ankle sprain a couple of days ago, so I hope he can recover. Actually, you know him pretty well out of Indiana. But I definitely hope he can recover. I'll try to touch base with him to see how he's doing and how quickly he can come back. But as it stands right now, man, I just don't think this team is a championship team. You got 2 former MVPs on your team. You would really think that the coach will be able to put together some type of offensive and defensive concept that can make this team elite. You know, when we look at all the other teams with 2 MVP candidates, we got the Lakers and we got the Clippers. These teams are finding ways to be elite, and the Rockets are just not elite right now. And again, the beginning of the fourth, the Mavericks have 121 points. The Mavericks look like they're on their way to easily scoring 140 to 150 points today. Easy. You know, it's starting to become a joke how what type of defense the Rockets play. And for this to be their first showing in the bubble, it doesn't look good. So if I'm a team going up against the Rockets, I'm gonna look at this concept that they're using. I'm gonna continue to force James Harden to give the ball up. I'm gonna do that always. I'm gonna force others to make plays. Obviously, at the end of the day, James Harden is he's gonna find a way to get his 30 points. You know, he's actually not shooting bad today. 9 of 14 from the field, 2 of 7 from the 3-point line, 12 of 12 from the free throw line. He's actually not doing bad. But when I look at other players, if we look at all of the other starters, this just tells you they don't have an attack mindset because they don't have the ball. PJ Tucker, no free throws on the day. Robert Covington, 0 free throws on the day. Daniel House, no free throws on the day. We have Jeff Green, Ben McLemore, and Austin Rivers. Those guys combined have been to the free throw line 4 times. So again, because of Harden and Westbrook's inability to allow others to make for themselves, everyone is essentially a standstill 3-point shooter. And if we look at their roster, they really only have 2 great spot up 3-point shooters. That's PJ Tucker. He has the highest percentage from the corner in 3. And then you have Daniel House Jr. He's developed into a 3-point shooter on those wings. Ben McLemore has gotten better, but nothing elite. And Austin Rivers only played 14 minutes in this game. But again, we know he's not known to be an extremely elite 3-point shooter as well. So Houston Rockets, man, I hope you guys can get this figured out. But as it stands now, you guys are looking to be one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA. And again, to be giving up, whether you guys can pull out this win or not, the fact that you've given up so many points just to get this win, again, I don't necessarily care that you're still in the game with a 7-seeded Dallas team. I don't necessarily care. I know Houston's a 6 seed, but it's the how you guys are playing and how effective can it be if you're going up against, I would say, the 5 or 6 elite teams. If you're going up against a Philly, this won't work. If you're going up against the Bucks, this won't work. Even if you're going against the Celtics or the Pacers, this is not a strategy that's actually going to work because good defensive teams are just going to exploit it even more. All right, but make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Again, I apologize for the lack of video footage on these NBA game breakdown videos, but I have to do a game breakdown anyways, just to let you guys know what's going on and this perspective that we have here at FYF Sports. Now, if you guys see something different, again, just like yesterday, we had a special guest on the show. Yesterday. If you want to be a special guest, if you want to come onto the show, all you got to do is hit us up. Instagram or Twitter, or even in the comment section. Just let us know you want to come on in the show. We're going to shoot you our contact information, or you can send us an email yourself. We can bring you on as a special guest. Again, we would love to have you guys on the show. Again, whether we have 9,000 subscribers or whether we have 90,000 subscribers, this is not going to change. We're still going to bring you guys on. We still want to hear your perspective. And again, regardless of where we're at, we're still going to interact with you guys in the comment sections, on Instagram, on Twitter. You guys make us who we are. So again, we appreciate what you bring into the channel. We appreciate you guys engaging in the videos, not just watching, but engaging. And again, we can show our respects by doing the giveaways and then also bringing you guys on the show. But that's another great breaking news video. Houston Rockets, you guys look like you got a lot of problems to solve. Hopefully you can get it together. But again, the way it's looking now, the way you guys are playing defense, you're not going to be able to beat anybody in the NBA. All right, but it's FYF Sports. Man, another great game day recap video.